Hey everybody, and welcome back. My name is Sue and I'm from OML Embroidery, and today we are going to have tons of fun with making more snowflakes, this time out of words, but not necessarily out of words. Look at this beauty right here. This is a built-in kind of illuminated font. I know a lot of people purchased them. There's some in the group. You could still do things with them. The only thing you have to watch is the size, and we're going to talk about that a lot. So, All Good Done says, hi Misha, hi Alicia, hi Isabel, Lila, hello Lila, you're going to love this Lila, this is fun. Alicia, who else? There's Carol Y says hello from North Carolina. Who else? A lot of people. We just love to say hi to each other. So let's get into it. This is going to be fun. Now this lesson is based on the last week's lesson where we did shapes and made it up. So this is a little bit different. I know I have done a video on this, but I've kicked it up a notch or 10. And I think you guys will really enjoy it. So let's get started, shall we? Oh, I had this all zoomed in. Now you got to see everything I'm doing. No. So the first thing is lettering. Now what works with the lettering? Just about anything works with the lettering. Now the one thing that we have to be careful is that if you look here, it says recommended height range. I know that's kind of going off the page there. 0.39 to 276. So that means you can't make this any smaller than that or any larger than that. So you do have to watch what you're doing. And what I've done is I usually leave one at the correct size. This is the smallest. Remember I said 0.39? I leave a copy so I can compare. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, exactly on, but let's get close enough to it. You don't want your lettering to be a mess. Now, once we start this, we can pick any color and we can do anything we want. We want to make another copy. So copy and paste, Control C, Control V, and I'm going to pull it down here. And then I'm going to do a flip with that so it looks like a reflection. And I'm going to bring it up. And for this one, I'm going to bring it nice and close. Now, I'm not lining it up this way because I'm going to select the both of them. So I made a bounding box and it is, hi, Jackie Cheek. I just looked over and saw Jackie Cheek's name. Hello. I just did a bounding box with left click and drag, and let's always try to use the tools that we have. So right align, and it moved a tiny bit. I was pretty good on that. So now at this point, we're not going to do it today, but at this point, I would make this one go right to left and apply, and try to get rid of some of these jump stitches. So there should be just a little tiny one in there. So it stitches out this way and then back up this way. But when we do what we're going to do, it is going to change anyways. So if you want to nudge this a little bit closer, you can, so they're almost touching. Either way, it looks fantastic. So then what do? Then we... I think this one's the same size. Okay, because I forgot to leave a copy. Didn't I just say leave a copy? Oh, well, that's fine. And we're going to go to our carousel. And that looks pretty cool already, but why don't we make it look better? I'm going to put maybe that many. Then we need to change the angle because this is just a circle, right? So change the angle. No magic numbers, although this one should be easy to figure out, right? 90. But that's okay. And now we're going to make them bigger. We have a little leeway on making them bigger. So I'm just left clicked, holding down, and I will check the size when we're done. But you can see it's quite big. So again, we can play around. And I want to try to get it as close as we can. Now, doesn't that make an awesome design right there? It looks so cool the way it's put together. So any fancy font, any swirly font, and it will look amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and click apply, then okay, and this is going to come in big, right? It was 13 by 13, and that, you know, that's kind of big. It's beautiful though. It's absolutely beautiful. Let's make it a little bit smaller and zoom in a little bit more, and then we can compare the sizes of it. Now it comes in grouped, which is super handy. Now if you compare our Halloween to the other one here, it's quite a bit bigger. So what are we at? 7 by 7, that's fine. You can go a little bit smaller if you want, and see how big that is. 5 by 5, that we could still probably go a little bit smaller than that. But what do you guys think? How cool is that? Would make a cute coaster, absolutely. Well, how would you make this into a coaster? Well, let's do it, why don't we? It's all about shapes, of course. So you could do this. You could pull out I think it's shift. No, let's do a nice circle. I can fix it after. And I'm just guessing, no magic numbers, because you can change this part to anything. And let's convert it to, say, a run stitch. And now we have some stitches on the table. Let's go to our shape. And it's a little bit off. Actually, I didn't do too badly. So let's do 5, I guess. 5. And maintain aspect ratio. Take it off. 5 and 5. So now we have a perfect circle. Wasn't that easy, right? Very, very easy. And yeah, I'm thinking that looks really good. So that is our placement line. We are going to copy, Control C, paste, Control V, and that is your stitch line. And then we are going to paste again. And for this one, we do want to change colors too. But for this one, I am going to convert to steel stitch, and you have your coaster. I think you got to put it in a different order. Mine's all messed up because remember I do like 500 things on one screen. So what you want is the placement. That's first. We need the tack down to tack down your material. Then we want it to stitch the design, and once that's done, we need to make one more copy because we need to put backing on it, and then do our finishing stitches, which is cool. I like it a little bit thicker, and there we go. And look at that, we have, other than it's in the wrong order, there is your Halloween mug rug. You could put something in the middle here. There's no reason why you can't do that. You could put, you know, a little candy or something like that. Hi, Cindy King. Yay, love the snowflakes. Yeah, and I think Alicia said, isn't this a great idea? You can make a mug rug, and you could use felt and have this stitch out, and it should, if you put everything in the right order, it should stitch out beautifully. So that is a completely personalized mug rug right there. I know it says Halloween, but look what else you can do. Let's scoot over here. Hold on. Scoot over. Okay, right here. You can do names. So I wanted to show you this. Now this is a mini font, Hobo Small. It's a micro font that comes with Perfect Embroidery Professional, because I thought, oh, wouldn't that be cool to make something a little smaller? How could we do that? And yes, there's a lot of Samanthas in there. That's my oldest daughter's name. And I just wanted to do something simple. So I picked one of the small fonts. I make sure it's the right size. I duplicated it around, and I try really hard to keep the same size. It could be actually a little bit smaller, but we can always check on that. So let's ungroup it, and then we can pick one of these. And it's the same size, so I did it correctly. I'm going to group that guy back up so I don't have a bunch of Samanthas all over my desk. Now, instead of multiplying it on this one and like doing a copy and doing a reverse of it, I just did a single name. And you know what? It gives it a different kind of look. The A's look really cool. It's hello. I don't know why I did that, but there you go. It gives it a whole different look. And then I changed it to yellow because I wanted to keep different colors. And I put the center in it, and I thought, well, it looks like, oh, you can see it better here, the way the letters go. They're pretty tight in. I thought if we put Susan, it would be a black-eyed Susan. So Sunny Sam, yes, sunflower, anything. And then you could, remember we did stems and we did leaves. You could just make a whole scene out of it. And then I thought, well, why don't we do a little more to it? And there's no reason why you can't come up with something like this. So this is the mirrored and upside down. And I started with the green in the middle here. This is the part that I used to multiply to do this. And I went up and I created these, I don't know what they are, like diamond shapes, I guess I used. And the jump stitch goes down the middle, but it's small enough that it just looks like a leaf. So I ran with it. I'm like, well, I'm not going to fix that. Why not? It's like, it looks good. And then I sent it back down so we don't have jump stitches in between everything. And then I multiplied it just the same way that I did to make it fit, keeping in mind this is a micro font again. So keeping in mind we want this to be the right size, or else our lettering won't be readable, the satin will split, the whole thing. So we always want to be careful about it. And then I thought, okay, I really like that one. So it says Samantha again. It's amazing. This one says Samantha and this one says two Samanthas. And they look completely different, although it's only just one piece. But then I thought, okay, and what I did around it was an outline. And I just picked the outline so it would come in and be nice. And I used like a bean stitch. I thought it was cool. And then I started thinking about jump stitches and plotting because that's what I always do. And I thought, okay, great. There's no jump stitches up here, but they're going to be down here. So I made connectors to each one. So it does the green, comes back, and that looked kind of weird, so I just did bean stitches around, and that covered up everything. It's perfect. A tree ornament. Yes, Alicia, why can't you make a tree ornament? It's the same thing as a mug rug. We're just going to put the letter O here or a C, and of course you have to change the outside of it. Or you could make it like a raw edge applique and put everything in the right order. So built in a hanger, or maybe, you know, put a little circle here that you can punch out. Anything like that. And it's the same way as the mug rug. So I do love the way the colors turned out. These are diamonds, by the way, in the middle. I just put them, I thought, yeah, that looks cool. So it's going to stitch all the green circle, and then it's going to end up right here, and it's going to stitch all this part, and then it's going to switch to the red and do the red. So I mean, anything goes. I think these little end points really add to it. So we'll get back to that one, the micro fonts. I went further. I take everything as far as we can go. So I did the Halloween just plain, just the single word Halloween, and I love this one. I love this one. It's just plain and everything, but look, you could put a little candy in between there, and I thought, yeah, I like that. You could ungroup it, and you could change all the colors. You could do that with Christmas as well. You could go through colors and maybe put a light bulb at the end. But I think adding it like this looks really good. So let's check out our multicolored Halloween, because I also like this. You could make this one, you know, leave it orange and maybe make this one black so it looks like a shadow, or really dark gray. Doesn't it look like a shadow? I love it. So let's go ahead and make this one into a snowflake. I'm going to take note of what it should be, and I'm going to even do better this time so I can copy them. Oh, no, I won't. Normally you should copy and paste, and this looks good. Now we can maybe pick a few more of these. We do have to make sure they're not getting too small. Change the angle to 90 so I don't have to sit and hold it. We know it's going to be 90. Apply. Perfect. And this one I will sit and hold it so we can get what we want. Now if you wanted to do the snowflake like this and put something larger in the middle, you could do that easily. But let's see here. So let's see if we can get it in closer. See, that looks really good too. That is awesome. I like how the two H's make a design here. I think it's cool. So again, we're going to come in around about the same size, and then we're going to double check everything. It comes in large, and we really had to think about this one. So I'm going to quickly make it smaller. I love the multicolored, and hopefully I remembered to put color sort on it, but maybe I didn't. It's okay. Maybe I didn't. So size-wise, we should be okay, but step back, like we're way back. Already, that looks pretty cool. Let's zoom in. Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah. I love it. I think that's awesome. Now you can go ahead and put, you know, lines or shapes in between these, maybe a few less, and you can manually do it. You don't need to take it into the carousel, but you could put, you know, a diamond in here. Let me show you how amazing that looks. So not so much a flower, but hexagon, maybe. Let's do diamond. And maybe something like that would look good. And then we're going to convert to, and I'm going to fill this one out, and I don't think I want it as red, but we'll leave it there for now. How about a gruesome green? And look, I can make it to fit right there. And green. No, I kind of wanted a lime green. I don't really have my neon color, but that'll do. Then why don't we copy that one and paste again so it's the same size, and see if we can squish it in here. And doesn't that change the whole thing? You could even put a circle in it. This guy, I think, has to be a smidgen smaller. And then you could put different things in it. You could put, yeah, I do have to make it smaller. But that's okay. That'll give it more of a look. Let's tuck it right down in here. And then I'm just going to put a circle back to our, you know, wonderful shapes. Let's put a circle here. And I'll size it when I get there. So let's convert to complex fill. And how about we make this one purple? That's our only color left that we haven't used. Doesn't quite fit, so let's make it a little bit smaller. And once you get something that you like this, look how that changes the thing. Let's do another one, maybe you can see it better. So I'm going to control click to bring them all together, and I'm going to collect group. And then what you can do, there's a couple ways. You can take it to the carousel, but I found it's quite difficult to make it match up. So I think it's just easier to do the duplicate, because you can pull it out. Let's see, line it up, pull it out. Oh, it does it crooked. Oh well, okay. I'm a little off on that. I think it's probably just easier. See, I want it to be exact. So let's delete that. And let's go back here. It's just, for me, easier to do it this way. Copy and paste. Oops, copy and paste. And then all you have to do is change the angle of it. So either way, there's a lot of different ways of doing it. I'm just used to doing a lot of things manually, but whatever suits you. Let's do another one. All we have to do is paste, and it goes right to the first one, and we'll change the angle, and you can see the ghost lines of it. Could you do two, each different, then merge them so the one in the bottom design? You can. I just found it was just a little difficult to make everything match. But doesn't that change the whole thing? I love it. You can fiddle around with it and figure it out. I just try to keep things simple for our classes. That could be your homework, to see if you could figure out how many you need, and see if you can make it work. It probably does work easily, and it would be probably a lot easier than this. So change the angle just a little bit more. So isn't that cool? And I think even just these extra designs on it. Looks like a wreath. It could be a mug rug. Happy. You could do Happy Halloween. You could do just the sky's the limit. But look at all these colors. You could even put this, I'm going to borrow this, around it. Just this part around it. And that makes it look even better. That would actually help you get everything lined up a little bit better as well. But doesn't that look amazing? Let's change it to purple. And that looks like something you spent hours and hours doing. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's give it a go. I need 12 of them. Let's just try, and you guys can see what I mean. For me, it was hard to make it fit properly because you got to get the angle right. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we want them straight up and down, right? So, no. Well, okay, I'm going to cancel. I know what the problem is. I've done this before. It works. It's a lot easier to figure out if you make it straight up and down. Not even perfectly, but that just, quick tip. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See if we can do this. It's at the right angle. Let's change the scale. Now remember, this one doesn't go all the way in. So I think we'll try that. It's a little bit smaller. Let's have a go. It's worth a try. It's going to come in larger than what we want, so we're going to make it smaller. Lila, thank you. Going to make it a little bit smaller and see if we can fit it in. I just found it was too fiddly. I mean, I know changing the angles on everything is fiddly as well, right? But, it was fun. So, we're looking good. I need to zoom in some more. See, this is my problem. There is probably a really clever way of figuring this out properly. At least you can get some kind of idea what it looks like. We'll have to make it a little bit bigger, and then we can move it around, and it shouldn't be too bad. See, it's a little bit off, but we can play around with it. I mean, it's closer. all you'd have to do is move some of them over. We could make it a little bit bigger maybe so they reach the edge. So that might in fact be a little bit easier because you could just take the parts and move them over. But doesn't that look good? It looks like a candy. It's a candy. No, it's not the center tool because even if I move it over, they're still off. Like the spacing is still off. See, these ones are good, but these ones aren't. So that's why. But I think this is a lot easier to do than the other way. But at least you can get some idea. It's a fast way to do it. And you get an idea of how it looks. And I love these purple dots here. I think that's awesome. So I'm pretty happy with that. So moving on, we put all of these at a 90-degree... Oh, you'd need something in the middle. I put them all at a 90-degree angle, but you don't have to. Look what I did with this Halloween one. I moved it a little bit sideways, and it kind of finishes it off, and you can make like a monogram. And I think that's really cool too. It's just something completely different. And it would be, I keep thinking like an apron or something like that. Make a Halloween monogrammed apron with this on it. People would really look and then kind of wonder, wow, that's, oh, it says Halloween. Happy, you could do happy as one and then Halloween as the other. So another idea I had was the little candy. And I thought that would be cute to add a little candy. You could take this one and you could put it in the middle over here as well. Make it a little bit bigger. You could put anything you want. You could even put a happy face if you want. So I'm liking it. Then I kind of went a little Christmassy. That's still my favorite, I think. I kind of went a little Christmassy. So the font I picked for this one is called Fan Scroll, I'm assuming. And I liked it because of the C. It's nice and swirly, and I think it looks really good when it's nice and swirly. You'll see when we put it together. But you can use any font that you want, again, being mindful of the size. I cannot say that enough to you guys. Just be mindful of the size. You can double it, reverse it, have it cross over a little bit. These satin stitches are fine. Why don't you add something to it? I'm a sucker for swirly fonts. Yeah, I'm pretty swirly. I'm thinking like swashes, big swashes, which are the swirlies, and ligatures, and maybe you could do one like the Samantha font. You have to buy it, but it's you know, you can add different things to it. I would love that. I think that would be very nice. The swirlier, the more awesome it looks. Not necessarily. The small font looked pretty good, but why not add a bow or a present or something like that, because I think it really adds to it. And you only have to spend Syrian script. I'll be checking that one out. You only have to digitize it once. And what's a present? It's a square with some rectangles and then do your bow. We can do little things like that. So then I thought of 2 words. Why not do 2 words? And I thought this was cool, but I want to move the lettering so they attach. I don't want to start off with the jump stitches. So this is all I'm doing, and I selected the Mary, and then I went into the text tool, and this is how you can make changes. Now, we can change the kerning on it. So it's just these little blue diamonds here, and you can see they move them back and forth. So we can change the kerning so it's a little bit easier, you know, a little bit closer, but then, it's over that. Let's, what can we do? we can make a lot of changes. So how about something like this? And we're really developing a shape doing it this way. So this one, we kind of want it to be more this way. And we'll bring the Christmas. I just want it to fit just nicely. So yeah, that's going to change everything. It's more like a shape other than just what we have. So let's try this one out. I think the changes I've done will be very good. I guess that R could be a little bit closer. But before I do this one in the weird colors, let's look at our Christmas, our swirly Christmas. Now this one is single because I mean this actually looks really good too. You could throw in an outline. So let's go here to utility, create outline, and I want it 0.2. I don't want it to be too close, and unite outlines. And ba-ba, that one's pretty good. If you don't like it, then just do it again. Remember that it's an outline, there's no stitches. So we need to convert it to, let's do a run, and then we can make it into like a bean stitch around it. And that gives it, you know, kind of a, oops, hit apply. I worry about my jump stitches. Well, if you there's going to be some, the way this is, there should not be jump stitches through the lettering because I have them really close. And then you want it to go from there to there. So as long as your things are in order, it should be pretty good. Now, that one looks kind of weird, so I'm going to select it. And I am gonna do optimize, entry, and exit, and that should get rid of them just like that. Pretty good. Now there's lines jumping across, but that's going from this red to that red. So I think just about every software has that. But that's the way to do it. Or like I had the one with the two colors that I made the second one before I multiplied it. I made the second one start here and end here. And in this software, it's really easy. If not, you could do a break apart and set it up yourself. I think it just saves you a ton of time. So this one is not bad at all. And hopefully they all connect right here. And so it'll stitch, and you could draw something to come back if you wanted. That's cool. And look, I just put a little present in the middle. Where did I get this? Up here in symbols. I decided to use some of the symbols. They're already done. Thank you, Jill. That's awesome. Let's look at our Merry Christmas with the bows. Now let's just look at it from like further away. How cute is that? I think the Merry Christmas with bows look like trees in a circle, just needs a topper. How cute is that? You're right. I know. Isn't that awesome? Just easy to do. And I mean, you could put circles in between here for lights sort of thing. But I love the bow. You could put something in between the bow as well. So you could put maybe the present. And it just looks like you spend hours and hours doing it. I love this. I think it is the most fun you can have. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about this shape one here. Now, I'm going to go down here to changing what I did on the other one. Look, I made this one really strong though. So changing the shape of the entire word, and then duplicating it and turning it upside down again. And look how that looks. That is, again, with the same word, with the same font, completely different. So that's the piece I used to make this. And this is my second favorite one. Teresa, thank you. what do you guys think? I think that one has a lot of effect. Always remember, keep in mind your sizes. You don't want your lettering to be too small. But look how completely different this one looks from this one. It doesn't even look the same. And so we're talking like negative space in here. So there's no reason why you can't do, you know, a color in here and do a little connection, color, connection, color, and then make this into a circle or something to cover up your connections. But doesn't that look elegant even? I love it. I was like, yeah, that is cool. So, I mean, the sky's the limit on just about everything. Look at how cute, even though they're not perfectly set out. When you step back or zoom out, look at how cute this one looks, just even from a distance. So, okay, let's do this guy. I'm just going to drag him over here, and we're going to multiply him. Look how pretty that is. Why does purple and yellow look awesome? I have no idea. So, whoops, we're going to change this to 90 and apply. And no, 4, 5, 6. Oh, see, I did it again. I have a hard time. And see what happens? It goes all messy. So I'm going to cancel that. It needs to be changed a little bit. So it should be okay. Hold on. This one will be cool. Now, you know what? We could do a couple of different things with this. Hold on. With this Merry Christmas. Instead of just doing a circle, look, here is the Halloween. This double Halloween, exactly the same. Look at this part right here. Can you see it? Right here. Isn't that a cool, like, monogram or something? And all this is multiplied. I'll show you how we do it. I'll do it with the Merry Christmas just to be different. But this looks like, I mean, you can see that it's 2 H's, kind of, but it's just a design. And I thought this was really cool. Or you could multiply it in different ways and go ahead and ungroup it and change the colors. You don't have to have a pattern, or you could have a pattern, doesn't matter. And that is just cool placement. So as a border, this would be a spectacular border. And this too, if you needed a thicker border. So let's do that with our Merry Christmas, which is over here. And it's very swirly and slanty. And let's see what we can do with this. I have no idea. It might be cool, might not be cool. Let's go here, the little arrow. And no, I don't want that, do I? No, I don't. I want the little arrow. There we go. Place, reflect. Scatter might be a little bit difficult, but let's do the reflect. Wow. Wow. What do you guys think? That's awesome. I could play with this forever. So we want the resequence on it. So repeats, let's do 2. You could actually use this around the hem for a little girl using her name as the border design. There's so many things you can do. You're exactly right. So look at this design. Yeah, I think that's cool. I love the way the swirlies go here and then here. So isn't that cool? I mean, and that's just the first thing I tried as well. So let's see, and apply. I just like to try everything because I think it's really cool. Now, it might be better if we move them closer, but that is, I took the horizontal reflection off and vertical reflection. That is okay as well. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. I like it. It's so much fun to play. Repeats, yeah, that's fine. So I think I like probably this one because it's different. It would take you forever to set this up yourself. I just think it's really cool. So that's probably another one of my favorite ones there. And, you know, play around with it. There's lots that you can come up with. There's a lot of extra stuff. Look at that, looks like that would actually be a kind of a cute border too. You could make an attachment here for the purples and give it a different look. Just maybe a line across here. How cool is that? That looks really neat. You can look at it different ways because you see the purple, the yellow kind of like fades in the background a little bit. So, I mean, you could do that on anything. Imagine a tree skirt with that around it. So, angles, this and that. Here's another thing that I was playing with. It's Elaine Chapman, thank you. It's the built-in lettering. Now, I know a lot of people purchase lettering like this, and there's a few in the OML Embroidery University Facebook group. These are not fonts, though. If you notice when I click on it, it is an embroidery design, and it's grouped nicely. So, you really don't want to change the size of it because it is a stitch file. So you don't want to mess around with it. These fonts are built-in fonts. If you have Hatch or Wilcom, you can purchase extra fonts that are built in and you can change them. You still always have to keep worried about the size of it, but you know, you can still play around with it. I thought this would be cool for a monogram. I want to check the size on it. Yeah, it's you know, on the bigger side, but how cute is that? Then I thought monogram. How about something like this? Maybe a little bit less. That might be over the top a bit, but you know, SB, there we go. I just thought it was fun. And if you look in this software, or you can look in different places, I guess you might have something, but look what they have here. So this one is simply gorgeous. I love this. That one is gorgeous too. Now, if you want it on the bigger side, you would have to, you know, leave it bigger. They have split monograms. I just flipped through this and I went, my goodness, I could play. Look at this, that's Father Christmas, which is the same guy as Santa Claus, just a little bit different. Look at these ones. Look at these ones. Wouldn't that be beautiful around in a circle? Maybe everyone's initials. I thought that would be cool. This is the one, of course, I picked. I just really liked it. But there's all sorts of things here that you can add to your designs. This is my favorite monogram style, I guess, the old-fashioned intertwined, and I was just absolutely thrilled to find it in here. Now, I do have some from Schuler Studio that are a bit fancy, and it's amazing, but it's really cool. I like how they look. The Schuler Studio ones are awesome. Absolutely awesome. But look how many there are. Every initial that there is out there. So what can you do with these along the lines of this? Well, there's no reason why you can't multiply them, you can't group them, you can't, you know, move them around, change the colors. I mean, really, the sky's the limit. So I'm just going to pick one and we can play with it. So let's see what it shows up, because I'm thinking this is pretty fancy schmancy stuff. Now, I don't know whose initial this is. I just picked the one that was in front of me. I love the S. So, okay, this one is a native file. And how could I tell that? Because it's in parts, and when I click on the part, it tells me what it is. So you can play with these a little bit better because it's a native file. So I like that a lot. I don't know if we should leave it blue and red. Maybe we could make it red and green, maybe a Christmas one. So these are native files, so you just have to make sure they are going to stitch out properly. And that is a level of yay. That's awesome. If yours are stitch files, then you don't want to, it's easier if you click the whole thing on the color, by the way. If you don't want to, you know, change it around too much. So it's pretty good. So I could look a little more carefully, pick out the blue ones, pick out a little more blue ones. I hope you guys are enjoying this. It's kind of awesome. There's the one I missed. So red and green. Let's go and see what happens when, oh yeah. Okay, I'm liking that. So we're going to scale it a little bit, and then we can bring it back down when it comes in. And I'm just going to do it so the greens are touching. Oh man, that's neat. The R makes it look like a dollar sign. But that is something completely different. This is something to do with a monogram. These are things you can do with a monogram. And you know what? You could put like the husband's initials around the outside or in the inside, however it may be, however large it may be. Let's see. We don't want to make it too small. What size are we at here? And I see lots of jump stitches. So 6 by 6, that's a pretty good size. The satin stitches aren't too small. Now we do want to organize that, but doesn't that look like something? That I really like that a lot. So let's just move the stitches, or we can put, I don't know if it's going to do the whole thing. I'm a little nervous about it. Yeah, there's not a whole lot we can do about the jump stitches. It did pick the shorter ones, but it's going to go back and forth. The greens I would like to go here, but anyway, so what do you think of this? I think that's stunning. I really, really like it. That is really beautiful. That could also be an ornament, a mug rug. It could be anything like that. I'd like to clean it up a little bit more. It's quite jumpy. Let's take that one back one. That is at least a bit better. So it might take a little work. And you know what I'd want to do if the jump stitches are going on like this, because it is a native file, we can set the start and stop point. So I would go back till 1, because you know how this is going to look. So even big, it looks good, but I don't like all those jump stitches, and I know I can do something about it. Did I take it one too far? Oh, it takes the whole thing when you do that. Okay, my bad. We can just pull up another one, and I'll show you, because it's a native file, I'll show you what we can do. So it's right under here, kind of like illuminated letters. We can pick another one. This is gorgeous. To make sure you haven't missed anything. Yeah, sorry about that. I know there's lots to do. I'm going to leave the colors. We don't need to go through that again. But it should be when we do this. See, look, start and stop points. That makes me so happy that there's start and stop points that we can change. So you can change the order of it because it's a native file, and I think that's awesome. So that was the blue. Let's try this. Yeah, awesome. So then what I do, if I didn't have a huge full page here, I would watch how it stitches out. we could copy it and go to File, New. I'm just trying to show you guys how I would set it up before I multiplied it. So, so awesome. So I would watch it stitch out, and then you can place the start and stop points. It's just like a motif, right? It's just like a motif that you want them to connect to the next one, and it'll work out fine. So that's how I would do it. I hope there's a connection in between here. Isn't that cool? I think those are gorgeous. Let me see how big this is. Oh, that's only 2 by 2, so that's not too bad. Let's, just for fun, let's go. Oh, look, even in the red and the blues. Let's do a few less, maybe. 5, well, 4 would look good. Okay, let's do maybe more. I just want to see if I can get a different look for it. And the blues go together. Now that looks cool. So again, it's going to come in big, but that's okay. We're going to make it smaller. Not too small. We got to make sure that we're okay on it. So, what do you think? I think that looks glorious for some reason. Isn't that awesome? You look at it and you'd go, what is that? And then you'd realize that it's intertwined lettering. And I'm pretty happy with that. Isn't that cool? Oh, I forgot to color sort though, so sucks. Let's see if I can do it here. Can I? Optimize sequence. And it didn't change anything, so maybe not. Oh, I guess it did, but optimize entry and exit. So a whole lot easier if you do it before you multiply. So I think that's something. Let me see how big this whole thing is. I ungrouped it, so let me group it. Let me see how big it is. I'm always thinking, oh, see, make this a little bit smaller, and it's 4 by 4. Then you can put a shape around it. Is it possible to have the N swirlies cross for the Y swirlies to meet? Well, it's a native file for this one, so I'm going to have to say yes. You can pretty much, I don't know what happened here. I don't know what happened here, but that's kind of weird. It looks like the underlay has come over. So the red should be underneath. So maybe I did, oh, I know. I don't use the optimization ones too much because it tends to mess it up a little bit. Yeah, something's going on here because this red is supposed to be underneath. So by selecting those, it's, I kind of put it in the wrong order, the way this Y is stitching out, and it's over top of the end. So that's something just to be aware of. And because these are native files, and if you create them in your own software, they will be native files, you can do anything that you want. So I usually go back and forth a fair amount to the carousel, and then I'm going to fix something else out, and then I just do it. I keep forgetting that it deletes it. Then I can make changes on it. So let's pick that one again, or I mean, oh, I love this EE. That's awesome. So you can change anything you want. So let's ungroup this, and then we'll go here and start and stop, and the jump stitches are purple. But look, you can change angles. You can change where it starts, where it stops. And you can, if you want to elongate something, you can do that too. Oh, that's angles. Let me take off the 3D. All right, well, it's not 100% changeable, but you know what? Where it ends, is it going to end there? These are all pieces. The E is pretty complicated. I don't know why that's a separate piece. But wherever it ends in the order, you can always add to it. So you can't do that in node mode, but why not add to it? Why not? So add some satin overlapping, say here. I should be doing curves. But yeah, you can, even if it is a stitch file, you can still add to it like this sort of thing. And then you have to play around and make it match. Oh, I picked the wrong one. Oh my goodness, I picked the wrong one. I wanted this one. I wanted this steel, not the satin. But probably the satin one is the better way to do it, because you can make the thickness change. But I'm just doing this quickly just to show you guys. And then you would make it the same color of red, and you would make it fit better. That's not even the same color, but you'd make it fit better, and you change the thickness to be closer, and then no one can tell the difference. So you can have the swirlies meet and change however you want. So just play around with it and, whoops, wrong one. Play around with it and get the way you want it to look. Yeah, and I was right that for some reason changing it changed it. Cool. So you can use true type fonts. Just make sure you mind the size and double check them to make sure they're okay. You could add quite a, depending on whether it's a native file or not native file, on how it would go, but you could, like extend pieces, because we know that we're going to do a swirl. So this one would be really easy. I would just extend it here, and then it would form a design in the middle of it as well. So here we go. Another thing you can do, why don't you add some shapes and put everything in the right order? So you could add, because you know where it's going to end up. You know that it is going to end up as a design in the middle. So you could do something like this, just slightly overlapping. Let's fill it, convert to complex fill, and we want it as the red, and we can change the angle, but look. And then when you multiply it, look at the initials here, the Christmas ones. So for this one, you could make these attach and then come down, and then you would have a star kind of design in the middle. Think Halloween. You could do letters like this in Halloween colors, and that would be the strings of your spider web. So that would be like completely original. I think I'm probably going to have to play around with that with my initials, and I'll let you guys know what I come up with. So I hope this gives you guys a ton of ideas. Be mindful of the size of your lettering. Add stuff to non-native designs. Add things, change colors, change the shapes, change everything. Laura says I'm getting lots of ideas. Yep, this is what we do. I think I like this Halloween one with the diamonds in the middle. I think I like that. And I think I like this one the best, although the purple and yellow Merry Christmas is awesome. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys do your homework and come up with something different. I am going to work on my spider web because I feel that it would be really fun to do, and I think You can make borders, you can make snowflakes, you can make outlines. There's so much you can do. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.